You're not good enough. You can't do this. No one will ever love you because, look at you. Here we go again. Our nasty little critic raises his voice and reminds us of everything we fear and feel insecure about. Everything might just have been okay, and there it is, seemingly out of nowhere, ruining our mood, our confidence, our self-esteem. Today I'm going to talk about that voice inside of us. It's a voice also very familiar to me, but I'd like to explore what it actually does for us so that we can all make peace with it. I'm Philipp. I'm a hypnotist and mind coach, and today I'm going to help you to understand your inner critic better, so you will be able to see it in a different light and make peace with yourself. We all know those intrusive thoughts about our inadequacy that make us feel even more vulnerable and leave us feeling weak and low. We are beating ourselves up and belittling ourselves in circles and can't seem to be able to get out of it once we got really going. Some people refer to themselves as their own harshest critic, which, looked at it in daylight, they most probably are. There might have been times during our years where we have been receiving criticism or negative feedback. Maybe it came from family members, teachers, peers, or sometimes even from random strangers. Yet now it is us carrying those ugly words around and use them against ourselves. It sometimes feels like a part of us wants us to deliberately feel small. Sometimes people describe it as a demon sitting on their shoulder, whispering shit into their ears. But what if being mean is not what drives that demon on our shoulders to whisper? What if all this nastiness is just a means to an end for that part of you? What if that inner critic wants to achieve something actually positive for you? What feels like we are sabotaging ourselves and holding ourselves back from things we know we should be able to do or want to do is actually made for keeping us where we are, because where we are is a safe place to be. And that would mean our inner critic wants to protect us from harm, failure, pain, and suffering. We were not born that way. We develop our insecurities, fears, and self-doubts over the years through experiences in our life. Bit by bit, layer by layer, our unconditional love and acceptance for ourselves is removed and becomes conditional. It might have been our parents being overly critical, neglecting our needs, only giving us love and positive feedback when we have achieved something. Or maybe we were bullied at school. Maybe there was this one teacher seemingly deriving pleasure from torturing us in front of everybody. I had one of those teachers. My math teacher loved it to call me out and make me look ridiculous in front of the class over and over again, well knowing that math wasn't my biggest strength. I dreaded his classes. I became super scared and small, and math became a lifelong enemy of mine. Of course, in a position of fear that I was in, I wasn't able to think one clear thought, let alone solve complex mathematical issues. And so I just felt like an idiot, no matter if real or imagined. It felt very real at those times though, those times of ridicule and intimidation. And my mind wanted to help me out of this. And so I started to avoid math classes and find excuses not to go. Don't tell anyone. But whatever the cause of our inner critic being noisy to us is, it's always something we have learned along the way. Based on our negative experiences, we shaped a certain reality for us about ourselves and the world around us. And so this part of us that we refer to as the demon on our shoulder, that inner critic, wants to protect us from similar experiences in the future, as they felt, of course, so painful, so shameful, and very uncomfortable to us. This protective mechanism will keep us away from everything that is out of our comfort zone. And it does that in a way that looks like a mean demon. But look, after all, it's pretty successful in doing it that way, isn't it? So, what can we do about it now that we are grown-ups? We can keep treating this part of us as an enemy. We can try to ignore it, we can try to fight it, we can try to reject it. Some people develop strong fears and anxieties, addictions, depression, by being constantly in that war zone with themselves. It takes an enormous amount of energy from us, which can have really devastating consequences for our life, personally, emotionally, and socially. Energy that we could actually use to enjoy our life. Or we can make peace with this part of us, treat it like an ally, a friend, someone we understand because we listen to him or her. After all, it's not a demon from the outside on our shoulder. It's a part of you. A part of you with the best intentions for you. A part of you who cares about your well-being. Just using a method that, a pretty successful one, doesn't really feel great. It picked up on the things in the past that might or might not have held any truth to it at that time. But we made it our own. We are the ones who keep repeating the same old stories to ourselves. The good news is that what we have learned can be unlearned or learned in different ways. Our mind enables us to learn something new and different till we take our last breath, and hence we can always change things. You are now an adult person having choices. You can choose to believe old stories, or you can create new stories and re-educate yourself, becoming your own best friend. So what do we need to know to make that happen? No, you have flaws, like all of us, and that is perfectly fine. We are human beings. We make mistakes all the time and are perfect with all our imperfections. We always can improve something if we want to. We have choice. So when your former demon begins to whisper to remind you of that old stuff that doesn't apply to you any longer, because you have outgrown your childhood stories and have grown into your own adult voice now, you can hear it whispering, but you don't have to buy into those thoughts. You know now you are not the same person you were when you were little. And if it helps, you can use those reminders as a comparison from who you were back then to who you are now. That inner critic of yours is not your enemy. It uses an outdated system to keep you in a safe place. That's all. You have learned to doubt yourself from people on the outside that look at the world through their own lens and have their very own views, agendas, problems, and intentions. A voice from the past isn't very useful in the present as you are moving towards your future. You are your own expert. You are the only one spending 24/7 with yourself. You know all the ins and outs, ups and downs. You know what you have been through and that you are through and reach the other side of so many challenges and keep doing so every day. You are able to handle what comes your way, and you do so every day. So acknowledge that. Be aware of your achievements. Focus on your successes, strengths, and qualities. And because we never stop learning, your inner critic will be collecting those new experiences and take those new views and ideas and perspectives on board with time. It is in your hands to update your old views and keep growing into a more positive person, having a more positive outlook on yourself and life. When your critical part raises its head, it's okay that it does that. Just be kind and compassionate with that part of you, and hence with yourself, instead of just eating what is served. When your part whispers you can't do something, you might be keen to find out for yourself instead of just giving in. Find out if you can. That is how we learn. So I hope this video was useful for you. And if you want to see more videos on my channel, do all the things people do on YouTube. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we speak soon. To a free and happy you. Have a lovely day. Bye for now.